Dr. Hari Prasad in place of Dr. Krishna Prasad Kudlu. He'll be talking on residual error after.
SMILE is one of the most advanced refractive laser treatment available now with the established safety and efficacy record, with 77% of the eye achieving a refraction of well within 0.5 diopters of intended correction. Even with this, post-SMILE you can expect an enhancement rate of around 2.7 to 4% in the cases. But the main issue with SMILE is its repeatability, because it is difficult to identify the original lenticle plane and then creating a second lenticule. Even if you create a second lenticule, this might interfere with the incision of the initial SMILE procedure. So which creates loose stromal fragments, which then leads to subsequent difficulty in lenticule dissection and extraction of the lenticule. So you got three options to retreat your SMILE. It is surface ablation, LASIK, and excimer treatment by converting the cap into a flap using the circle pattern of the Mizumax. So indications for the retreatment are primary undercorrection, overcorrection, post-surgery regression, and irregular astigmatism as the result of your decentered treatment. So there are few risk factors which might lead to retreatment later in the SMILE. The first is the age of the patient. If the age of the patient is more than 35 years, in them you can expect unpredictable wound healing response, and also a stronger epithelial thickening response, which can later lead to regression. And also higher magnitude of refractive error correction also can lead to retreatment later due to regression. And if you have a suction loss during the treatment and you redock it and complete the procedure, sometimes in these cases you can have irregular astigmatism in the post-operative period, which can require retreatment later. And also your surgeon factors like excessive manipulation can also lead to retreatment because of suboptimal results. So before you take up the patient for retreatment, at least wait for 3 to 4 months for the refraction to stabilize. Then you do a thorough cycloplegic and manifest refraction. And main thing is you need to make a note of the details of the previous surgery, like what was the refractive error correction which was done, what is the residual stromal bed thickness of the patient, any occurrence of intraoperative or postoperative complication during the procedure. And once you're through with your refractive workup, then the main thing is to decide upon which is the most ideal procedure for your recorrection. If you want the patient to retain the advantage of the flapless nature of the SMILE, you choose photorefractive keratectomy, which is PRK. Here you keep the optic zone minimum at 6.5 mm, and usage of mitomycin C is mandatory at least for a minute or more. If you want to do a LASIK in the patient, you have to choose a case which has had thick SMILE cap which is more than 130 microns. So if the patient had a thin SMILE cap like 100 to 110 microns, this is not the ideal case for doing a retreatment with LASIK, because doing a LASIK in this case might intersect with the previous cap cuts, create multiple dissection planes, and also might lead to loose fragments later. This is a small video. Showing a thin flap LASIK done in a case of thick cap SMILE. So it's just like any other routine femto LASIK, but you have to customize it such a way that the diameter of the flap is more than the cap diameter. Otherwise, it's the routine same LASIK which is being done. You can also do a deep LASIK flap extending beyond the initial cap, but again this might interfere with your previous incision, and also your residual stromal bed might be compromised. So basically doing a flip side of doing a LASIK post SMILE is it negates whatever the biomechanical stability the previous SMILE procedure would have occurred at. Lastly, you have the circle pattern. Basically in circle pattern, it it converts the smile cap into a complete flap. I'll show you a video here. There are basically 4 patterns in circle. The D pattern is the most optimal one. First, it creates a lamellar ring surrounding the cap. Then a junctional cut is done, which joins the cap with the sectional plane. And then you have a side cut, which gives you a hinge. Once it is done, you raise the flap. And you do the refractive correction. So the advantage of doing a circle pattern is it eliminates the risk of multiple dissection plane in the optical zone if at all you do the treatment, as compared with your LASIK. So these are the basic 3 ways in which you can correct the residual refractive error post-SMILE. But there are newer techniques which been tried, like the subcap lenticule extraction and the secondary SMILE, but these are technically challenging to do. In subcap lenticule extraction, basically the treatment is done at the same depth as the first procedure without the anterior cut. So here the previous interface itself acts as the superior border for your second lenticule. In secondary SMILE, you can do the SMILE in the cap or below the stromal pocket. But again, as I said, both the techniques are technically challenging to do, and they require further trials before you do it on the humans.
Hari Prasad, you have half a minute.
I'm done. So the retreatment in SMILE will provide a very good satisfactory visual outcome in majority of the cases, but sometimes the advantage of flapless procedure of the SMILE will not be retained.